Well, hello there, everyone, and as I record this, I wish you all a happy Sunday evening, though this will probably not get posted until Monday. Um, but the beauty of a video is you can watch it whenever you want. So, happy Monday, happy Wednesday, happy July 4th, whenever you watch it. Um, Happy to be here. I'm able to usually get a video in at least over the weekend, and kind of was a little bit late this week to get a video in, but I definitely wanted to put something through. My last few videos have been really just album announcements for things that are coming up later this spring into the early summer. A lot of things I'm really excited about. You can go back and look at some of those other videos. The new Van Morrison album, which I want to thank folks, by the way. It may not seem like much, but that video where I talk about Van Morrison's new album is doing really well in terms of people wanting to watch it and get information about it. Nothing different about it than my other videos. I've done Van Morrison videos before, but I just want to thank everybody who's watched that and who's wanted to hear my 2 cents on what's going on with music these days and what kind of stuff I like to listen to, and who I'm who I've got pre-orders in for. So thank you for watching. And I don't want to do this, but if you do watch a lot of the videos, go ahead and subscribe to them, because I really like especially interacting with you all in the comments. I know I've got some regular viewers I'm starting to see who are commenting on various videos more and more. So if you haven't already subscribed, please go ahead and do that. I'm trying to push my way up to 50. Right now I'm just under 40 subscribers. Just my little troop that's following me right now, and I'd like to kind of push that up to 50. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks. So if you can spread the word that I'm trying to push to 50, I'd appreciate it. If not, that's okay. I'm happy that you're watching now, whether you subscribe or not. But anyway, I did want to thank people for watching that Van Morrison video, but also the other videos that I've done since I started this portion of my channel back in January of this year. I've done a couple of these videos before. I was actually able to go out fairly recently. I've been really careful about going out and doing record shopping in person, or CD shopping, more like it, with the vaccine and everything. So I've felt safe enough now that I'm as immune as I can be to go out still safely, to my local Barnes & Noble, and look around, find some things. And I'm also still ordering the majority of my belongings through online shopping services. So without further ado, I just thought I'd catch you up on some things that I've picked up, some things you might not have heard of that you might want to check out. Everything I'm about to show you, I recommend 100%. Even the stuff that I haven't listened to. There are two of these albums that I've never heard all the way through, but I know enough about the artists to say with full confidence that you should check them out. And I'll go ahead and start with those. I just got these two pieces in over the weekend. The first is an album I know that Glenn Kellaway has been excited about, as have I. It's the new it's the new Steve Earle album called JT that he does with his band, the Dukes. And of course, if you know anything about Steve Earle, Americana, great. His one major hit was Copperhead Road, kind of in the outlaw country vein. He was a prodigy. He was a student of songwriters like Townes Van Zandt and Guy Clark, of which he's done 2 separate tribute albums to them. And that's why I respect Steve Earle a lot, is that he's not afraid to dedicate a whole album to one artist. Like I said, he's done one for Guy Clark. He's done one for Townes Van Zandt. And this is his latest tribute album called JT. And it's a tribute to his son, Justin Townes Earle, who passed away last year from a drug overdose. And he does all Justin Townes Earle songs on this album, with the exception of the final called Last Words, which is a tribute that Steve Earle wrote for his son. And what's really neat, I've already taken the hype sticker off of this, but what's really neat is that all of the proceeds of this album were going to go to Justin Townes Earle's widow and young daughter. So that's really neat, especially since Steve Earle and Justin Townes Earle kind of had a tender relationship in terms of, I guess fragile is the better word for it. Both of them, both very hard in their stubbornness and their backgrounds. But anyway, I'll go into that later. I'm going to try to run through these pretty quick. The next is the new Ringo EP called Zoom In, which I have not listened to, but I've heard good things about from the almost 81-year-old former Beatle. The next few are, I'll just show these all at once. I'm trying to go and pick up all of the Fountains of Wayne collection. Fountains of Wayne, of course, had the hit Stacy's Mom in the early 2000s, but there's so much more. I'm hoping to do a full video to them. This is their last album that they put out called Sky Full of Holes. Highly recommend it. It's kind of acoustic, jangle pop. All of their albums are power pop in nature, but that's with those Beatles elements, 60s style, but also with the 90s kind of sound that came from a lot of the artists in the 60s. So check out Fountains of Wayne if you haven't. They're fantastic. Next is an album that's very hard to find on CD as it's out of print, and that's Tupelo Honey by Van Morrison. I'm also hoping to do a Van Morrison ranking in terms of my top 10 albums at some point, so stay tuned for that. Tupelo Honey, spoiler, is on that list. But it's such a good album. It's got songs like Tupelo Honey, Moonshine Whiskey, I Wanna Rue You, Wild Nights is the opener. Just a fantastic album. Next are a couple of jazz albums that I picked up. The first is Time Out by the Dave Brubeck Quartet. Fantastic jazz album to start your morning off with. Considered one of the best jazz albums of all time. The next is Relaxin' with the Miles Davis Quintet, from 1959, I believe. 1959. Sometime in there. 56. Yeah, it was recorded in October of 56. Very good album. I listened to that the other day while I was finishing up some work. Just really clean jazz. It's Miles Davis, so you can't go wrong. The next are a couple of Dylan albums that I've had on vinyl, but I had not had them on CD. Street Legal, and ironically both of these albums came out back to back when they came out. Street Legal, and then the first of his Christian trilogy, Slow Train Comin'. Killer albums. Give his Christian gospel period a chance if you've never listened to it. It's just fantastic. His recent bootleg series chronicling his live performances during that tour were just phenomenal. So check out Dylan's gospel trilogy. And lastly, this is probably the biggest surprise to people, but I love this album. Green Day's American Idiot, which was a massive album back in '04. Became a rock opera live on Broadway. Just killer rock hooks. It's just, Green Day are one of the last. I'd say they're the last great rock power trio. Following like the likes of Cream and Led Zeppelin. American Idiot, killer rock and roll album. So those are my recent finds. Let me know how you feel about those albums if you know about them. And like I said, I'm hoping to do some more succinct videos about some of those artists later on, so stay tuned for those. In the meantime, I will check out some more music. If there's anything else that's coming up, I will let you know. Take care.